Y salute, my 131s. I hope you are having an amazing weekend. Very productive for me. Got the dogs out, got them to the creek. They had an amazing day. I have a good topic today that I want to talk about, okay? And I'm gonna put this one on YouTube. And it isn't because I want any clout. I want it to be a centralized location. It's going to be on my channel. I'm not going to put it on anyone else's channel. It's not for the fucking views. I don't care about any of that. If anyone knows who I am, I don't care about that, okay? Now, what I'm going toward it on this is that I'm going to tell you exactly where my loyalties lie right now, okay? My loyalties lie exactly where the branch is. Okay, if you weren't there when it happened, then shut the fuck up. Okay, because a lot of things can be taken out of context, especially when you get it out of second and third hand information, okay? It's just bad data. Now, what I'm going to say next is, I don't have anything against anybody. Like I told you, we're all brothers, sisters now too. I failed to recognize the females, women, ladies in the 131 Corps as well. So my apologies. I try my best to include the females, ladies as well. Moving forward, the whole thing about, was it a controversial statement? I don't think so much, to be honest with you. Was my video before that about anything? No, it wasn't anything about that. I was sharing something with you is what I was doing. That was a true story about the gentleman who said something on social media and it screwed his job opportunity up. That was true. Okay, I shared that with Maui. Not that I'm playing the game of like, oh, you can go ask him. I don't care. You know, my integrity to you has never been challenged. I've always told you the truth. And we talked about the legacy. You know, what are you leaving behind for the Corps? What are you exactly leaving behind for the Corps? What are you leaving behind for the 131s? And everyone's like, well, I mean, you talk about legacy. And I'm like, okay, dude, it doesn't have to be something big. You know, talking to Mr. Rios, and I was like, oh, okay, dude. No, I'm telling you something right now. And this is what I told him. I said, you know, what I do is I shoot these videos and I help you out. Either where somewhere I screwed up or somewhere where I see where we can get better. That's what I do. Okay, that's exactly what I do. And he said, you know, man, I appreciate it. And that's what I've done. Because I've screwed up a lot, man. I've screwed up probably more than I've done better. But my point is to make you a better 131 for it. Learn from my mistakes, man. Because when I screw up big. I'm just going to be honest with you. I haven't screwed up that much.
You have chosen to defy peace. Then you have chosen war with a god.
Is that my legacy? I don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe someone got better because of it. You know, but it feels good when I had guys call me from NTC or JRTC and being like, hey man, this is my plan. What do you think? And I'm like, okay man, as silly as it may sound, did you think about when you're going to refuel your damn, fuel cans for your radar? He's like, shit, I didn't think about that. Things of that nature, you know. Now, when it comes to picking, everybody has influence, okay? Everyone has influence on their duty position. If you're past W2, even with the marketplace in play right now, people have had influence on where they're going. Okay, they just have. They have, man. They just have. So for someone to say that, well, you know what? I can't believe this guy said this dude's going to be whatever. Dude, everyone has had some kind of influence on where they're going to be or where they're going to go, where they want to retire. Some people got to Colorado Springs and they wanted to suck up a position that someone else could have been at and said, I just want to go there to retire. Some people did that in any duty station. Just Colorado Springs just happened to be the bigger one. Now, and then, I know Mikey Hernandez for a long time. Mikey got there. He did his job for this long. Went to Devard. Stood them up the way he should have. And then he said, hey, Rick, hey, man, this is it. Hey, word, bro. You did your time, man. Now you're saying you're getting out, man. I appreciate it. And then some people, came back and then they said, hey, man, I'm going to drop my paperwork. Okay, bro, that's your decision. But, then I'm going to call Branch, submit that shit to Branch so I can try to get someone else for you. Because I don't want them to count you against our numbers. But don't act like no one's had influence on what position they had. Just I made a point, man. Who's fighting for this damn position?
Bitch.
Nobody wants it. But if there's a vision that someone's seen already and where we're going with stuff, and you already know that this is the better guy to do it, and you have influence on that, why wouldn't you say that? If you listen to the man's vision, okay, if you listen to it. Remember when I talked about compartmentalizing a few videos back? Remember when I said something about it? I said something about compartmentalization, right? I said that. If you listen to what he's saying, it's similar to that. Okay, if you really listen to what he's saying, Mr. Cummings was in that brief, Mr. Brooks was in that brief, and Mr. Cargill was in that brief. They were there in that brief, okay? And at this moment, people may be upset. I'm just going to be very, very candid about this. This is the first beer, so I'm just spitting fucking facts in my first beer. You saw me open it. No one can replace the knowledge that Mr. Cargill had at Ditcher at that moment when he needed to leave. There's no way that anyone could have replaced him, okay? Now, if someone would have been there with them for about 6 months, 6 to 8 months, okay, I get it. But in reality, they needed him there. No one can replace that man right now, okay? Well, what he's doing there, they do need him. And if you understand to what the CWAP's saying, I understand a lot of people don't get this brief. If you listen to it, he's talking a little bit about compartmentalization. Okay, so let's just say that one of these cool places like our cyber has a target in my neighborhood, right? But I'm the target warrant officer of my neighborhood. Whose target is that in reality? Is it theirs or mine? I'm gonna let you figure that one out. Are they supporting or supported? Remember that? Remember that? I need you to think about that, man. That's what he was getting at. Okay? Let's forget about the small shit. Let's focus on the bigger shit, man. That's what we need to worry about. I don't care who's sitting in that seat as long as they do what they're supposed to and grow the branch. Every CWAB, like I told you before, grew the branch. They had something along the way that they did to grow the branch. It isn't about who I like, who I don't like, who's right and who's wrong and who's better for the job. It isn't about that. It isn't about that at all, because even when I was talking to, and I said, hey man, where's Wayne Hart at? I said, oh yeah, man, I think he's at Paycom. Good. You need that. You can't lose that there. You can't. Really, where's Billy? Oh shit, Billy's staying in Germany. Good. You can't lose that there either, man. You can't lose that knowledge base there, man. You can't. You just can't. Because they know the lay of the land. They know every other actual op plan that's actually numbered. Okay, that's came through. They're very intimate with those op orders, and they op plans and everything to follow. So they understand what's next. And that's what I talked about previously as well. Sometimes you can't replace that depth of knowledge. You can't, man. No one knows. There isn't anyone that knows the force structure, the force management, the terrain, the history, Then you start jumping into other crap like the Intel part of it, the OE. No one knows that better than those guys. Then you jump into our jam. No one knows that better than them, man. Just like there isn't anyone on the staff that should know MDMP better than you. There isn't anyone on the staff that should know how to synchronize, coordinate, and execute better than you. That's your jam. Okay? Whether you like it or not, MDMP is your jam. Manny Barnes told me that. Kurt Wilson told me that. Okay? And put all your personal shit aside. Okay? When you're right, you're right. You know? When you're right, you're right. And that's just it. Those are your jam. IPB should be your jam too. Wargaming, your jam too. Because you should be pushing a staff during wargaming. Honestly, they're a little dumb when it comes to wargaming. And the worst people are like, when they're supposed to know the enemy assets, they're like, that's not my job. They're like, you know what, man? Yeah, it is. You're supposed to know the WAG above your fucking enemy counterpart. What are their assets, man? You should know this because the commander's going to come in here and he's going to fry you on this shit. You should know this. Sometimes it's up to you to drive that. That's what they're missing at the ASCCs. That's what they're missing at the agencies. That's what they're missing at... I gave this speech, is that they're missing that planning part. They're missing the fusing part. They're missing the part where we make the sausage, whatever you want to call it, where we make the jam, you know. Then we execute. They're missing that part, man. Everyone's missing that part where you fuse everything, where you put the intel and operations together, just like they taught us. Step one. What is your job? I'm not taking sides. I refuse to take sides. I love the brothers. I love the brother who made the comment. I have a problem with him. I love him. I'd do anything for him. I've had conversations with him. We joke around a lot. I don't have a problem with him. Anyone involved in that conversation, I have a problem with them. But when we get to it, for example, I didn't read all the comments, but for example, let's just say I saw Rob Houston's name on there. All I've heard is good shit about him. He's still, if I'm not mistaken, I think he's still at a Special Forces Command. Is there anyone better right now to take that from him? Right now. Can you fill that seat? Maybe someone like below him, maybe. Maybe. But right now, if they just plucked another W4 out of a division and said, here, you're going to do this. I don't think there is, man. I really don't think there is. So for someone to say this is the best guy for the job, I don't think that's a problem. But plans don't always work out the way you want them to. Okay? To be the CWAB, you have to be a W5. To be this, you have to be, you know, a W4, whatever the case may be. Billets are not getting taken away. So the horror story that I heard is like, oh man, he's going to pull these billets and he wants this. No, that's not true. Okay, so what's going to happen at Corps is that, you know, he's going to take a 5 off of the co-ops floor and put a 4 there, but that 5 is going to go somewhere else to GCC targeting. That's what we've always wanted, isn't it? We've been fighting for that forever. Now that's going to be your job to guess what, support who. Now that's your neighborhood, right? Whose target does that belong to? Oh, you operate in my neighborhood. Boy, you better tell me. You better ask for a pass. Don't do anything in my neighborhood without asking about it. So whose target does that belong to? Remember, I don't care what agency you're at. Those targets are for the warfighter. They're not for you to be cool. They're not for you to say, oh, we did this. Because you're sounding like that damn major and the damn S2. Oh, I smacked all these people with my Predator. Okay. And it's another thing that I've talked to Maui about I've talked to Maui. I've talked to a lot of people about this. Is that, dude? You're getting to the last of the Mohicans here, where the door kickers, GWAT guys, you're not getting those dudes anymore, man. You're not getting guys that deployed anymore or gals that deployed anymore. You're not getting those anymore. You're getting the people that probably they weren't there for that part of the war, man. They weren't there for the surge. They weren't there for, shootout at the OK Corral down in, the Horn of Panjaway or the damn valleys or nothing or anything like that. They weren't there for that, man. So it's your job to teach them. So recap real quick, okay? I'm gonna wrap it up. These are all your brothers, man. We're a family and sisters. You ain't gotta like them. You gotta love them. You are your brother, sister's keeper, man. Okay? We're a dysfunctional family, just like any other agency, just like any other people, just like any other squad. We're dysfunctional AF. We just are. Well, you keep that stuff on the 131 page. That's fine. I don't take sides, man. It's kind of like a divorce, man. I don't take sides. Keep in mind what's happening, man. If you're not hearing the vision, then again, if you're not there for the damn vision and what's going forward, man, shut the fuck up. You're not listening. I just gave you a brief synopsis of what the man said. If Mr. Brooks wants to come on and say, hey, Rick, you missed a few points and this is what you touched this iceberg, or you like I said, I'm this blunt damn instrument. But he's like, Mr. Brooks is probably a little more precision guided because he's heard that brief more than I have. He's gonna be like, okay, hey man, you missed this and this and this. But you know what? Most of what you said is correct, or all of what you said is correct, but you missed a few points along the way. What did I tell you? Let me leave you one final thing, okay? And this is something Doc Robinson understood very well, okay? And Mr. Rios echoed this when we talked about MDMP. The problem with a lot of guys, and I said this on goddamn Instagram too, is that those fist cords or whoever, the 3, the EXO, they want to get in there and do MDMP and they want to do it on their own, or they want to do the hand wave and say, we're going to do it this way. This is how we're going to do this. And they just want to speed through it. And they're not really teaching the staff anything. No, there isn't anyone learning anything, how to apply their assets. And they're going to do their time as whatever duty position they are, and they're going to go and leave. And guess who's still there? Guess who's still there? You. So they never really did 72, 96 hours targeting the way you should be, especially if you're at the damn division. You let brigade worry about that 72-hour knife fight, man. You've done what you could for them. You've shaped. You've gotten. They should be pushing 1972s to you for Cass. Right? They understood that part. That these guys, they want to rush through the process and win. But there isn't anyone that learns anything, man. They want to catch everyone's fly ball in center field. But they don't want to teach anyone anything. And it ruins it for everyone. They understood that, man. They really did. They understand that part of it, that there's just so much that everyone wants to do. Everyone wants to win. Everyone wants to be like, we beat the warfighter. And that's, to me, that's never the point of the warfighter. The point of the warfighter is for you to lose a little bit, for the staff to bust their ass and stay up late and do everything they're supposed to do. So I'm going to tell you right now, all the real targeting got done after the targeting meeting, when you sat around the damn with the 2X and the Air Force guy and the IC and Intel Collection Manager, especially after 96, because we weren't doing a damn targeting meeting. Okay? They want to take over, I don't give a shit. But you know what? We're going to do the right thing afterwards. And we did it. So, I love you guys, okay? Warrant Officer Chronicles, baby. Hey, man, like I said, I support the Corps. I support the 131s. And that's just who I am. I'm not here to trash anyone. I'm not going to do that. I love you guys. Have a good weekend. Bye. Bye.